Hi everybody, this is Boog-S Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Jada Toys Street Fighter 2 Ryu figure. So before we take a look at Ryu, let's take a look at the accessories that he comes with. So first up, he comes with a set of fisted hands. Up next, he comes with his Hadouken hands. I do wish instead of these being on regular swivels, I wish they would have been on hinges. That way you could get the hands in the post just a little bit better. Up next, you get the Hadouken effect. And this looks really nice. It's cast in this very nice translucent blue plastic, and you can actually see his hands inside of that. I thought that was an extremely awesome touch. That looks really cool. And it does have this stand that it comes with. You can actually articulate it in two places, depending on what kind of pose you're wanting to get, or what figure you're aiming it at, I should say. And I think that is awesome. That looks incredible, especially if you have him in the pose and have it like that. That looks very, very awesome. Up next, you get his standard head sculpt, and this looks amazing. Jada Toys did an awesome job on this. If you look, he has a bunch of printed details on his face. Instead of paint variation for some skin tone, he actually has that printed on, and that looks good. Jada Toys did an incredible job on this head sculpt. Just the details and all of the paint variation there with that printing tech, that looks good. And finally, he comes with an angry head sculpt, and this is the head sculpt I prefer to leave on the figure. Again, it looks very, very nice. He has some very awesome sculpt to his hair. All of the printed details looks really good. That looks awesome. So now let's take a look at the rest of the figure. So taking a look at the rest of the figure, Jada Toys did an incredible job at sculpting this. All the muscles are sculpted very nicely, and in between them there's some paint variation. I think that looks really good. You can see that paint variation going across his chest here and in between the muscles and here around the neck. You even get it up here on the shoulders. That looks really awesome. I was surprised at the amount of paint on this. Honestly, Jada Toys didn't have to paint anything on this figure. They could have just left it that base color of his skin tone. But they actually gave us some paint variation in between those muscles, and it really makes the details pop. He has some incredible texturing there to his shirt. That looks very nice. You also get some really cool texturing to his belt there. If you want to, you can actually remove this. It just pegs in. It does kind of scare me taking it off, but if you wanted to do that, you can. It is really easy to do. You just unpeg it there. He has some very cool texturing to his gloves. I think that looks really good. If I remember right, in the Street Fighter 2 game, I thought they were black though. I might be misremembering that, but I was pretty sure they were black. On his pants, he has some very, very awesome texturing, and he has some gray paint over top of the wrinkles there, and it brings the details out very nicely. Like I said, I'm amazed at the paint work on this figure. That subtle gray paint right there on the wrinkles and everything, that brings those details out very nicely. I'm very happy with the paint variation on this. And then mine has a scuff right here on the right foot, but I can't see any sort of paint variation down here. Oh, actually, yeah, I do. There's some paint variation there on his ankles. So yeah, I'm definitely impressed with this. If you would have told me that Jada went from doing these die-cast figures to doing these really cool action figures, I wouldn't have believed you. But yeah, Jada Toys really went above and beyond with this figure. I am very impressed. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at his articulation. He has a ball-jointed head and neck, and he can't quite look up all the way. If you force it, you might pop his head off, but he can look down all the way. He can move his head side to side. He has shoulders that can move all the way out. He has very nice butterfly joints, swiveled bicep that can move side to side, double-jointed elbows that can bend all the way in, swiveled wrist that can move side to side and up and down very nicely. He has a ball-jointed diaphragm and waist, and he can crunch back all the way. Keep in mind this is soft rubber, so that helps, but I was really surprised that the articulation wasn't hindered by this. He can even crunch forward all the way there. I am very impressed by that. He can move side to side up here at this diaphragm joint, and side to side down here at the waist joint. He can do a complete split. He can kick forward all the way. He can kick back all the way. He has a swivel at the thigh, double-jointed knee. It's a little bit crunchy, but it does move back all the way. He has a swivel shin, clear up in here. He has a swivel ankle that can move up all the way, down all the way, and a very nice ankle rocker. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here he is next to the Marvel Legends 20th Anniversary Captain America figure. I wanted to do a few size comparisons to some characters that show up in Marvel vs. Capcom. And Captain America is just a little bit taller than him. The Legends that I've looked at so far are taller than Ryu, so Ryu is just slightly shorter than a Marvel Legends figure. But if you're wanting to use him in a Marvel vs. Capcom display, I think you could make it work. Here he is next to the Love Triangle 3-pack Wolverine and the Vintage Card Spider-Man figure. Here he is next to the NECA TMNT Cartoon Leonardo figure. If I remember right, Playmates actually did some 2-packs of some Turtles vs. Street Fighter. And yeah, these scale pretty well together. Ryu is actually just a little bit taller than him. He wouldn't scale with the 7-inch movie Turtles, though. They would be way too tall for him. Here he is next to Die-Cast Psylocke. This is what Jada Toys used to do. And finally, there he is next to the McFarlane Year 2 Batman figure. And McFarlane figures won't scale with him either because they're in 7-inch scale and are way taller than him. So overall, I would highly recommend picking this up because Jada Toys did an amazing job on this. I was pleasantly surprised by this figure. I would go so far as to say this is almost import level of quality. This could almost pass for an import figure. That's how awesome they did with this. He has some incredible sculpt detail, and the paint is very awesome. Just the way he's standing right now, you can see that gray shading on his pants and the paint variation in between his muscles. That looks really good. Jada Toys really brought their A game with this figure, so yeah, definitely do not miss out on this. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.